Good morning, friends, and happy September. I know that technically fall doesn't start until the end of September, but to me, the beginning of September has always marked the start of fall in my heart. And today I am so beyond excited to get started on decorating for fall. Some years I am so gung-ho, ready to decorate for fall. I know last year I was ready for spooky decor by like August 15th, I think. I was ready to go. This year I haven't been feeling quite as in a rush. I am very excited to decorate for fall, but I don't think I'm ready for spooky decor just yet. The other day I did a little poll on my Instagram just to see what everybody else thought that I should do, whether or not I should jump right into spooky decor in September or if I should do what I am calling a subtle fall September. Overwhelmingly, everybody was kind of on board for subtle fall. So that is what we're gonna do because that is how I'm feeling myself. As I was thinking of ideas for fall decor, specifically for my kitchen, because it's my favorite place to decorate, I thought that it would be perfect to do practical magic inspired decor. Their kitchen is also a lot of white, although it is definitely a lot creamier than my kitchen. Their kitchen also has a lot of greenery, it has a lot of earthy tones, a lot of wood mixed in, a lot of copper mixed in, which are all some of my personal favorite things. So I thought that that would be a great fit for in here and it would just work so well. Also this year for my decor, I'm kind of thinking in layers. So we're gonna start with this practical magic inspired layer of fall decor and then we're gonna add to it. Right now there's no live pumpkins really available anywhere and I love to decorate with live pumpkins. That once those become available, then that'll be sort of the second layer. Last year I did big mounds of pumpkins on either side of our stove and I just loved the look and surprisingly they lasted almost all season. Only one of them died on me. Definitely gonna do that, but that'll be sort of like layer number 2. And then come more October, we will add the last sort of spooky layer of decor once we're sort of feeling the spooky vibes. We are definitely going to get started by doing a deep cleaning. I actually want to pull everything off of the shelves. I realized recently that I haven't really moved anything on the shelves since I took all of the Christmas decor down last year, which is crazy. I usually decorate each season, but it's just been a busy year. And I actually still have my winter mugs hung up. I never even put up my spring and summer ones. So we're just gonna pull everything off and give it that deep cleaning it deserves. And then we'll start adding in our fall decor. Okay, this is actually, believe it or not, all of my specifically fall decor. I try to keep myself limited. Now I do have a lot more decor that's sort of not specifically fall, but definitely fall favorites that I am going to pull out too. But right now I just want to dig through here and pull out what is, you know, more subtle fall, what's going to go with our practical magic vibes, and what is sort of spooky fall that can kind of wait for, you know, October or whatever I'm feeling it. I like to start my decorating with whatever I'm confident I'll be using first, especially if it already has a home like with these jars I have for my flour and sugar and other baking needs. I found keeping them in this corner above my mixer makes for easy baking, so I almost always start with putting them back in place first as the anchors for the rest of the decor. I try to be thoughtful about what I keep on this higher shelf since it's a little harder to access, so I'll be using a few faux plants mixed with real propagations up here. To get the feeling of that plant-filled practical magic house, I wanted to add more propagations to my kitchen. My golden pothos has been growing like a weed, so I was able to get quite a few clippings from it. I recently thrifted this little glass lamp for $3, and my husband was able to change it out to being battery powered, making it the perfect little countertop light. I also thrifted this wreath. I checked to make sure it would be a good fit in the space, and then I got to work removing all of the fake flowers. I do look forward to giving it a more spooky makeover, but I think for right now, the symbol shape is really great. I also hosed it down to get rid of some of the lingering smells, and I let it dry out in the sun for a while. Okay, it has been a couple days now since I decorated, and I have to say, I think I found a perfect balance for myself. It's been bringing me so much joy just these couple of days. But I thought it would also be fun real quick to go through some of my personal fall favorites and recommendations in case you are looking for new ways to get into the fall spirit. I tried to pare it down to things that I don't feel like have been too over recommended. I watch a lot of YouTube fall recommendation videos, and I feel like you hear a lot of the same stuff over and over again because it's great stuff. So I am here to tell you, definitely watch, read, do all of those things because those are great. I try to keep my list kind of short and sweet and recommend stuff that I don't feel like I've seen quite as much in those other videos. Number one is one that I just finished and I got it from the library, so unfortunately I don't have the book on me, but it has a great fall cover, which is actually why I picked it up. It's called Death at the Manor by Katharine Schellman. It is part of her Lily Adler series, which I knew nothing about. I have never read any of the other ones, and this is like I think third in the series, but you can totally just drop in on this book. It's pretty easy to pick up what's going on. The best way I can describe it is like the love child of Jane Austen and Agatha Christie. Lily Adler, the main character, feels a little bit like an older grown-up Elizabeth Bennet to me, except for now she's solving mysteries. Her and her friends go to stay with her aunts in this adorable English countryside town. One of the houses in town is being haunted. I will not give it all away. I think it's so adorable and you should definitely read it. It's such an easy, fun read. It's so fun and it's so autumnal and cozy. I don't think that it's too scary. I would not consider this a thriller at all. It's simply just a mystery. There are people dying. So just FYI. The next one I'm going to recommend I do have on hand, and this is Cider Coven by Vanessa Lambert. I actually know Vanessa. I met her last year at a little ghouls meetup, which I have a little video of, but I ended up buying her book that same day because they were selling it at the cider mill, and I did not know Vanessa before that. I saw the book and it sounded really fun, so I grabbed it. It is so much fun. It has major Sabrina the Teenage Witch vibes, so if you're into Sabrina the Teenage Witch, I'm pretty sure you'll love this. It also has, you know, some Gilmore Girls-y type vibes with small Connecticut towns and all of that fun stuff. So if you are just looking for a super fun read, I can't recommend it enough. I actually read it this year in like January or February. I just never got around to it last fall because I had so much going on. But I loved it even in January and February. You can read it any time of year, but especially this time of year. I think I might actually reread it this fall just because I feel like I have to. The last book that I will recommend is one that was popular a few years ago, but I haven't heard it recommended too much recently. It is called The Witches of New York by Amy McKay. So it's set in New York in 1880, and it has a little bit of historical fiction vibes to it too, which I really love. So they talk about a lot of stuff that actually was going on in New York in 1880, which I really enjoyed that sort of setting. I thought it was really interesting setting. But as far as the story goes, our main character, Adelaide, is a witch working out of a tea shop in New York, and she needs a little bit of help. So she puts up an ad that says, "Respectable lady seeks dependable shop girl. Those averse to magic need not apply." So I know everybody always shares their fall bucket list, which I do love seeing, and mine looks very much the same as many other people, including going to a pumpkin patch and going apple picking. But there is just one thing that I feel like I don't see as many people recommend that I thought I would drop here in case you need some ideas, and that is going to a book sale specifically. There is a great website for finding book sales in the US. Usually these are like libraries that are trying to get rid of some books, and I've gone to some really fun ones in like the basement of libraries where they're just got stacks and stacks and stacks of books, and they're usually like 25 cents a piece. The vibes are fun, the atmosphere is fun, you've got a ton of book lovers all in one place, so I highly recommend. I will leave a link to the website I mentioned before. I can't remember what it's called. It's something like, you know, booksales.net or something like that, but I'll leave it in the description. Okay, and moving on to TV. The first one is not strictly fall, but there's one specific episode that's so fall that I always end up watching it during the fall, and the whole series is only 2 seasons long, unfortunately. Because of that, I usually end up watching the entire series during fall every year, and that is Pushing Daisies. It's about Ned, who is a pie baker who can wake the dead to ask them who killed them and solve mysteries, with Emerson Codd, who is a detective. When his childhood crush dies and she comes back to life, he just simply cannot bring himself to put her back to death, and so she joins the group solving mysteries along with Kristen Chenoweth, who is just absolutely incredible and adorable in this entire series. The visuals are adorable. It's a little bit campy because the CGI isn't like the highest quality, and it was also early 2000s, but I think that's almost like part of the fun of it, is that it's a little bit campy. The episode specifically that you have to watch for fall is called Girth. It has the best fall vibes. Oh my gosh, vintagey, Halloween vibes. It's so much fun. Every single episode is like a little baby murder mystery, but it's not scary. It's just sort of fun, campy mystery. Almost like Scooby-Doo. It's like goofy and there's a lot of hijinks, but at the same time there's also at the core a very sweet love story. I believe it's still available on HBO Max or whatever they're calling it these days. I have no idea. So the next one, I feel like I'm always surprised that I don't usually hear anybody recommend this as far as just like a fun TV show to put on, especially like in the background or like on a Saturday morning. The Munsters, the original 1960s Munsters. It is just so adorable. Like seriously, it's like Leave It to Beaver but with monsters, and it's just so cute and like also heartwarming at the same time. If you haven't heard of the Munsters before, it is a family. The dad is Frankenstein, the mom is Vampira, the grandfather is Count Dracula, son is a werewolf, but then they also have their niece who lives with them who is a perfectly normal person, and they all kind of talk about her like she's a little bit weird. She's always going on dates and she just can't understand why these guys get scared away, and she assumes it must be her. So whether you have never watched it before or you haven't watched in a long time, I recommend putting it on. It is a great background show. I like to put it on while I'm like doing my makeup in the morning or just cleaning. The jokes are so much fun and it brings me so much joy. As of me filming this, it is currently available on Peacock, so hopefully it stays on there because I am in love with watching it. Last show that I'm going to recommend, I'm not going to pretend like I came up with this recommendation. I got this from darling Desi, who is huge fall YouTuber. If you like fall videos on YouTube, then you've probably watched her. But I just feel like I have to re-recommend it because I hadn't heard anyone else recommend it before. Watched it right after she recommended it and I am obsessed, and I am also so sad that there's only one season, and that is The Curious Creations of Christine McConnell. Christine McConnell is, I'm obsessed with her now. I've been watching all of her YouTubes as well because she's also on YouTube. I heard somebody else describe her as Morticia Addams meets Martha Stewart, and I think that's perfect. She makes really creepy creations, but like absolutely incredible and mind-boggling, and they make you want to bake, but you also kind of know that there's no way on earth yours will turn out nearly as cool as hers. So you just sit back and enjoy watching her create like the most amazing things. I am so sad that there's only one season because I especially love like her sidekicks and all of that stuff and the whole little world that she was creating with that show. Once you get done with that, you can start binging her YouTube, which is definitely worth a binge. Okay, and lastly, I'm just going to recommend two of my favorite fall recipes to make. It is making your own homemade Pop-Tarts. It is so fun. It was actually way easier than I thought it would be. You can either use homemade pie dough, which I've done, and it's pretty easy, but you can also just use store-made dough and make it a really easy, simple project. You roll it out, you cut out shapes using cookie cutters. I like to use bigger ones so that you have plenty of room to put like the filling in. You can either use your own homemade filling, or you can even just grab pre-made filling like from cans. Places like my local Amish market, they actually sell really great pie filling jars, and so you can fill it with whatever you want to, but you just put a little bit inside, put the other top on half, you can cut out little faces, and you just bake them for a few minutes, and there you go. It's just a really fun baking activity. I feel like you could easily do it with kids too. So, and if you're looking for another easier fall baking idea, I also really love making like fall leaf cookies. So using any sort of roll-out cookie dough, you can separate the dough into pieces and use a little bit of food coloring. I like to do different shades of like orange and browns, smush them back together and roll them out, and then cut out your leaf shapes. And then you end up with these adorable little fall leaf cookies that, you know, just have a little extra color to them. And I think it just makes it a little extra fun to me. Anyway, that is it for today. Thank you so much for joining me for decorating. If you have any fall recommendations or just things that you're really excited about for this fall specifically, leave them in the comments below. I just feel like it's such an exciting time of year. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you are having a lovely day, and I will see you next time.